Hey, what's good, listeners? Welcome to the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. Good morning, Marissa. How's it going, fam?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy it's Friday. I have not looked
Right?
forward to a Friday in so long. I
Well,
am
maybe
gonna
it's
cut
because it's
loose.
the month of December. It's Christmas is right
Mm,
around the corner, the
it could
happiest time of the
be.
year.
It could be that, or I just want you to cut loose and party tonight. And I
Well, I guess
think
the first
that's
thing that
more
we need to
it.
say is, did you survive Thanksgiving?
Actually, Thanksgiving was like no drama, like at all, like
There we
not
go.
one drama. So that was kind of fun and interesting. And yeah, I ate a lot and ate a lot and ate a lot. So it was
Hey,
cool.
that's what's up. Same thing. I mean, it was a great time with family and friends, and I hope you, the CCS family, had the same feeling when it came to your holiday season. And hopefully, this month continues that bash all the way until New Year's. But I know, Marissa, I definitely wanted to share this with you and the rest of the CCS family because this is kind of crazy this morning. I don't know if you even saw this, CCS family, but Drew Brees is trending on Twitter this morning because people are trying to determine whether his commercial that he just shot in Venezuela is real or fake, because something very drastic happened on the set. So you decide whether it's real or fake. I got the clip right here.
Hey, feeling Jared? Good? Everyone time. Everyone station.
So clearly, Marissa, people online were fearful because I
It
guess
looks
the
real.
doesn't it look
It
very
looks like
real?
he just died. Like Drew Brees just died. That's what it looks like to
That's
me.
that's seriously what I thought too. I know my
Mhm.
mom told me way back in the day that like she had a staff or a teacher on campus where she used to work at her high school, and someone got electrocuted, and it was no joke. Like it's a very legit thing. I mean,
Wow.
thank God the man survived, but people die from this, and I guess this is in a very popular place. Well, not for tourist, but like it's well known with enthusiasts that love to kind of study these kind of things. Well, it's considered the lightning capital of the world. It's called Catatumbo. I'm probably butchering the name, but I guess it is a never-ending lightning storm for up to 9 hours a day, up to 300 nights a year, with strikes that do 28 times per minute, Marissa. So they decided to go to this venue, and obviously sports reporters were reaching out to Drew Brees going, hey, are you okay? I guess he did this for a sports bet, or it's called Points Bet. It's a sports book that obviously, online gambling's been thriving this year. And yeah, I guess now he's reaching out to people and saying that he's okay. And now people are saying that this is a spoof, that it was a publicity stunt to promote this sports book. So when you hear this, do you feel like this was insensitive? I mean, I just thought it
I
was totally insane.
I don't understand who thought that would be a funny spoof. Do you know what I mean? Like that just
Right.
doesn't make any sense to me. I'm glad, like hopefully it is fake. Hopefully nobody got hurt. He didn't get struck by lightning or anything crazy. But it's an odd joke. It's like sometimes where your humor lands wrong. You're like, yeah, that
Yeah.
wasn't funny.
No, for real. I mean, I know the local news were saying that, lightnings usually hit the rivers and rarely people, but 3 to 4 people die a year in that city because a lightning strikes. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit insensitive, not quite like what Kanye West is going off on
Oh my
all this week. And trust
god.
me, we will get to it during Say It, because we do have a jam-packed show for the CCS family, which I am very excited to announce that our Just Talking guest is director and writer Tarun Verma, as well as actress Simren, to discuss their feature film Conception, as well as Strike A Chord artist hailing from Connecticut is punk rocker Jamie from American Thrills. And they got such a kick-ass album that I want you guys to check out. It's called Parted Ways, and we're going to have that discussion at the half-hour mark of the Chris Collins Show. But I also want to remind everybody to don't forget to check out our brand new music podcast, Off the Fret, more music talk, featuring LA pop rockers Poe the Passenger as our 7th installment. It's out on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you know what, Marissa? I think it's time. I think it is time to rock and roll. So let's get the
Yeah.
cue on in and let's enjoy the show, baby. Let's let it ride. This This one's called Say It.
I'm beyond livid.
That's what's been irking me like crazy.
Psycho X.
We hope that he grows from this.
No, legit, I was trying to figure that out also.
Whatever's on our mind, there's something that's been griping.
So, I get to just say it.
That's my question, Marissa. Well, as I hyped up at the top of the show, this is Say It, where Marissa and I, we say whatever the hell is on our mind. And as much as I've been trying to not bring Ye or Kanye West into the Chris Collins show, it's hard to ignore the slander and just the most ridiculous takes that Kanye West has been spewing online this week. So a lot of people want to pretend that Kanye West isn't nuts. A lot of people want to convince you that Kanye West isn't nuts. He's a genius. He's a music genius after all. Well, now it's indisputable that Kanye West is in fact insane. I presume you saw or maybe heard about Kanye West's Chernobyl level meltdown during his appearance on the Alex Jones program, where he told the host and the audience the following. So if you haven't seen it, here's the clip for yourself.
Watch my accounts because they've been frozen by the Jewish banks. So I need to watch my meals.
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis. So, I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the frozen.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh, my goodness. Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh man! Well, just because you're in love with the design, you're a designer. Can we just kind of say like you like the uniforms, but that's about it?
No. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
I'm kind of speechless, Marissa. I mean, it's you almost want to laugh, but this has happened way too many times now where it's gotten to the point where, even using his mom's death, it to me isn't an excuse anymore. The fact that people can say, hey man, just praise him for his music is hard to ignore anymore. I mean, it's like when I think about one of my favorite metal artists of all times, Tim from As I Lay Dying, it's like my viewpoints have completely changed with that band. And it's so hard to even listen to their music, knowing that the fact that front man hired a hitman to kill his wife. And then when I hear Kanye West spew this insanity and then continues it up on Twitter, and I had the clip, but unfortunately the picture's not set up, guys, but it's hard to find right now. But, Kanye West tweeted a photo where Elon Musk had to get involved and took it down, where it was his presidential logo, which had the Star of David and the swastika together.
With hashtag love speech. Like those two go hand in hand. Like they're throwing Nazis and love, come on.
I just feel like we're living in the Twilight Zone right now, Marissa. And I know...
he's rich. And so people allow him to be a voice and spew bullshit and nonsense and racism. I mean, let's be clear.
And I know a lot of people are trying to drag Elon Musk for bringing him back on Twitter, but I'm an advocate for letting anybody say what the hell they want, because we get to have this shit where we get to now call him out on his bullshit that he's spewing online.
Well, here's the thing is, he is suspended. So Elon Musk has resuspended his Twitter indefinitely. Yep. So that is done. Elon Musk did not bring his Twitter back. That was done before Elon Musk was there. So Kanye West already had the go forward. So no one can blame Elon for this one. But as long as people continue to interview him and give him that platform to speak his hate, nonsense, whatever you want to call it, right? Mental illness, it doesn't matter. When they give him this platform, he's going to continue to use it. When people just completely stop buying his music, stop supporting him, and just not tune in and not give him a platform, then he can actually possibly go away and not continue to propagate Jewish hate, right? Because that's all he's talking about consistently over and over again.
Absolutely, Marissa. It's so true. And I know fans were very quick to jump online. And let's share some of those comments as we're circulating on Twitter, with one user pointing out that the funniest possible thing that could happen right now is George Bush Jr. saying Kanye West doesn't care about black people on national television. I mean, who would have thought that the guy who had that infamous moment with Michael Myers Mike Myers, Austin Powers, now does spewing the shit that he's saying today. Also, we got Kanye West seems to have lost his mind. I'm 100% for free speech, but that Hitler stuff he's talking right now is insane. There is no redeeming quality to Hitler. Sit down. Also, we go, does this mean the bromance between Kanye West and Elon Musk is over? Yeah, it kind of looks like it. And also, I'm waiting for Kanye West to say that Hitler never incarcerated as many black people as both Biden and Harris did. That was kind of funny. It kind of lightened up the mood a little bit. But, you know, I think it's totally insane. I mean, anybody that, you know, is for Kanye West right now, you know, look out for a brother. The publicist is hurting right now. I think the first job for the publicist right now, Marissa, is go get that man some help. But I think we've said enough on Say It, because we got, like I said at the top of the show, a very jam-packed show. So we're about to get right on into just talking. So stick around. We got more left of the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. What's good, listeners? Our guest on Just Talking are director and writer Tarun, as well as actress Simren, to discuss their feature film Conception, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. How's it going, fam?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm feeling
good.
Hey,
that's what's up. We love seeing you guys. Are you guys in the Christmas
Love
spirit
it.
or what? I know I'm feeling good this morning.
Yes.
Oh, my wife got all the
100%.
Christmas decorations up. My kids are going crazy. We had Santa Claus on yesterday. We're having a blast.
Oh,
man.
nice.
You know, it's so funny. You know, I always love watching those kind of old school Christmas films, because you get to kind of reminisce about the times where you actually kind of believed in those moments. Like I was watching the Michael Keaton's Jack Frost. It's so silly to watch it now, but I can remember as a kid thinking it was so real. It's so freaking awesome. So you got to love those glory days. But enough about the Christmas chat. Let's talk about Conception. And before we even begin, let's show the CCS family what's good by playing the trailer now for Conception.
No. I've seen the look in your eyes. When you see babies,
What? No.
if you want to start a family, let's start a family.
Let's start a family.
Making babies is the fun part.
What are you doing?
What do you think I'm doing?
Until you realize you just can't have any.
We've been trying for a while now, and it just hasn't happened yet.
And I think that's the next logical step, in vitro fertilization.
Okay, in vitro.
Absolutely. Just tell us what we need to do and when we can start.
This is incredibly difficult for a couple to go through.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I was just trying to help.
I don't need your help. I can do this myself.
Can't sit around here and will something into existence. That's not how this works. You know, they tell you it's gonna be hard, but you never think it's gonna be like this.
Oh, you know, this film is so well done, Tarun and
Yeah,
Simren.
it is.
And, you know, infertility, you know, is one of those dirty little secrets that no one wants to talk about. And as someone who was once a fertility pharmacist, Tarun, I mean, that's pretty wild. I mean, why did you want to write and direct a film about the emotional turmoil that comes with, you know, the struggle to have a family?
Well, first off, can we just acknowledge that the segue from Christmas stuff to infertility, awful, right?
Yes.
I want to go back to the Christmas discussion if we can.
No,
you know
we
what
can't.
I mean?
We're done.
I mean, that's such a
We're
fascinating.
now back on you.
Yeah, no, we have to come back to you because, you know, as someone, this is your directorial debut, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So, you know, I spent so many years helping couples get pregnant. And it just, as a filmmaker, that story really, I knew there was something there to do. And for years, I didn't do it because I always associated myself as a comedy writer. That's what the funny part is. All I've done before this movie has been comedies. And
so what drew you to drama then?
Man, so again, it was my time in fertility, right? So the thing is, you can't make this story funny. It just doesn't work. You know, you have to be really sensitive to the population base of the people who have gone through this, right? And so I just had it in me, man. It was COVID. There wasn't much going around. Like, there wasn't much happening. We were all locked in. So I sat there and I told my wife, I was like, I think I got something in me that I can pull out that's real serious. And The script came out. It was fantastic. You're married, so you don't do anything in a vacuum, right? You got to get approval from your wife. My wife was
always.
like, damn, this is good. You should really make this. I was like, are you sure? Because sometimes
it's funny that you say your wife thinks it was really good, because I was reading about you, and you were you're a University of Texas alum. You once worked and owned your own pharmacy, and I kept thinking that your wife or even your parents must have been like freaking out, thinking that you left the field of health and science to be a full-time filmmaker. Did you get any kind of backlash?
So I never actually fully left healthcare. I still do it, but my wife is like, so I'm like a Cape Crusader, right? So I do healthcare during the day, and I'm a filmmaker by night. And again, comedies, that's what I love. Like there's nothing like being on a set where you're shooting comedy, because it's so much fun.
So do you view like filmmaking as like a powerful tool to kind of amplify a message that's maybe not necessarily getting across, like
I learned
conception?
that now. Yeah, like through this movie, I learned to do that, because before my comedies were always throwaways. They're not, there's no point to them. They're just funny, right? Like Horrible Bosses or Office Space or something of the sort, right? But then this thing came in, and this was like a deadpan drama, right? Like heavy on the commentary, everything that I don't do. And it was like, I literally just channeled all of that pharmacy experience, all the interactions I've ever had with my patients. I channeled that in. And so this film is a collection of their stories. So I knew that I had to be as sensitive as possible with it. So you pretty much throw that comedic writer director out of the door, and you bring in this whole other person, and you're like, we got to tell this thing right. So
no, I think Tarun, you did such a phenomenal job. And like you said, your script is very, it's got a lot of heavy dialogue, and Simren, you're such a natural on screen. I mean, it seems like you've been doing this for a very long time. And what drew you into wanting to be a part of this feature film conception?
Well, I definitely am someone who loves challenges. So this was something that I knew that would be a challenge, because I am someone who never has ever thought about having kids, getting married. I was never that girl. I was always the girl who wanted.
Has that philosophy changed? Because I'm with you. I mean, I didn't necessarily relate with this couple in the film, Tarun and Simren, because like, personally, I always joke with the CCS family. I know my mom hates it, and I'm going to say it again. Like, if Bill Maher could be a bachelor till he's 50, I'm okay. Like, my older brother has 4 foster kids, which he totally loves. My little brother's married. I'm not. Like, if they're okay and I'm happy, is that a terrible mindset? I mean, I'm seeing chuckles from both of you right now. I mean,
I'm a big Bill Maher fan, so I hear Bill Maher talk about it all the time. So it just, it makes me laugh. And there was a funny thing. I was reading, or I was on a podcast. I was listening to a podcast with Bill Maher and Quentin Tarantino, and Bill Maher was shitting on Quentin Tarantino for being like, because he got married now and has a kid, right? And Quentin's in like his 50s or something like that. And Bill Maher was like, I thought we were going to do this till the wheels fell off. Like you and me, we were going to stay single. And he was just like, I don't know, man. Something just changed one day. And he's like, maybe it'll change in you. And Bill Maher's like, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't see that one.
I mean, I feel like I'm on that same page as well. I just don't see myself with kids. I mean, do you have kids of your own, Simren?
I do not. So, and I don't plan to, of course. I'm still sticking by that, but you just never say never.
See, because I was about to throw the hypothetical question that was inside the script of conception. How far will you go to have a baby? But clearly that is nowhere in your world. Why is that case?
I have always been very passionate about working with kids. So I would like to spend time giving love to kids out there that don't have that. And that's just something that's been very close to my heart. I feel like it's almost a purpose of mine. I don't know why. I don't know where that comes from. So I don't know. For me, having kids just feels selfish. And it's just, that's me, right? Because I just feel like my purpose is something else. And sometimes being a mother is not for everybody,
Very
and
true.
I would rather have 1 million kids that I'm helping as a mother, like, metaphorically, rather than just 1 or 2 of my own, because I know that if I have a child, I would be obsessed with it. And all of my time and energy would go into it, because I love, and I'm a heavy lover. So I just feel like all the love that I have to give, I would rather just give out.
Would you be open to fostering? Because I have friends that foster. So they're the same thing. They don't want their own kids, but they want to give love and help.
Is it because you don't want to go through the pain? Or is it?
No, pain builds character.
They have epidurals, homie.
I'm just saying. I mean, because
I took a nap. I was in labor.
Simren, you're really kind of like sparking something that I wasn't necessarily thinking about until now. What if you're in a relationship and you're let's say you're married and you're ready to make that next big step in your relationship? What if the man or if it's a a female, or it's got to be the man in the relationship. If they want, if just dirt. I had a blonde moment. I get one blonde moment a day. Just keep digging
that hole, homie. Just keep digging that hole, okay?
But what if the male in the relationship is the one advocating for a baby? How do you approach that conversation? I mean, Tarun, you're the one with kids. I mean, do you have any advice?
Yeah, so a lot of people during the press tour of this film, they're like, well, what's the point of this movie? Like, what's the take home message with this, right? And my take home is, doesn't matter if you're 2 dates in, you just got married, or you just got engaged, talk about this, because people don't talk about this when they're dating, right? They're not like, hey, what if they're both like, hey, we don't want a kid, but then in 5 years, one of them does. Like, you need to go through these scenarios, because this topic right here, this right here, son,
that happened
this can break up a relationship.
No, but that happened to me with my marriage. I thought we were on the same page about having a kid, getting married, having a kid. And then we got married and I was like, great, let's have a kid. And he didn't want a kid. And we have a daughter. I mean, we're divorced now, but she was an accident. He did not want a kid. And I was having to be like, wow, I married somebody that I thought wanted a family.
But like, I guess my thing is that I'm not
torn about being clear about being clear. So I would not have made him. I would not have married him.
But I guess the thing is, what I'm not hearing from both of you guys is, when do you bring up that conversation?
Right away.
First week, first month? Really?
Right away. And be clear.
Really?
And be clear
Simren,
about
do you agree with this? I don't know if I necessarily want to have that talk within the first week. That would turn me off immediately.
Okay, not the first date.
On the fourth date, man. Like, you got to get it out of the way, because this is a deal breaker. Money and children. These are the two things that lead to a divorce, hands down, top of the list, right? Yep. Like, you need to sort this out. What if one person ends up significantly making more? Like, I tried to get my wife to sign a prenup, and she was like, haha, F you. And I was like, okay, so we crossed that road. You know what I mean? Like, we crossed that road. And then when children came, it was like, my wife's not big on having children. I'm a big little bear. I wanted kids. Aww. My wife was like, nah. And I was like, how far are we willing to go? Are we willing to, adopt? Are we willing to do this? And she drew her line in the sand and was like, this is how far I'd go. Beyond that, like, I don't think so. You'd have to respect that line. Dude, the sooner you can have this discussion in a relationship, the better.
And
man, I think you got bigger cojones than I do, Tarun, because I don't know if I can even bring that up. I feel like that's such an awkward conversation. But I mean, in turn, the entire IVF process can be, physically, emotionally, as well as financially taxing on couples. And when does a fertility pharmacist come in and tell a couple the unconcealable truth? Because that's got to be very awkward.
So that's the cool thing. I don't deal with that part. So that's what the doctors do, right? So the doctors are the ones that give you the bad news and all that. But what happens is, it's kind of like any pharmacist is, I'm the boots on the ground. So when they're out of the doctor's office and they have a million questions that they didn't feel comfortable asking the doctor, they'd come to me for it. And they go, hey, Tarun, what about this? What about that? What about this? And, you do the best of your ability to answer those questions. And I would actually on the weekends sit down with fertility doctors and be like, hey, I got asked like 5 questions that I didn't understand, or I didn't know. Like, you need to explain this to me so I can get educated, so that I can then deliver this to the patients out there. So, man, it's heavy stuff. You're absolutely right. Couples spend up to like 6 figures. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine that? Like, 6 figures.
Like, I saw that you did a wonderful sit down with Fox 26 in Houston, and you were explaining how some people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in IVF treatment. I mean, Simren, let me bring you into the mix, because let's say I already heard your thoughts. I mean, this is something clearly you wouldn't do, because you don't want to produce any babies anytime soon. But if you had like one of your friends that was going through this process, I mean, would you even have like the strength or the willpower to even kind of try to step in and be like, hey, enough is enough? Like, don't you know, it's like, you got to kind of protect your own health at one point. I mean, that's kind of how I felt when I was watching this film.
I'm a lot like Amy in the sense that where I'm a fighter. So if I were to decide to have kids and I wasn't able to, and I would have to go through this process, I would fight. I think it's just about, I think it's important to fight for things that you love. So that's my take on it.
I mean, that segues right into Marissa, who she was talking about how she wanted a kid. That segues right into that right there.
Yeah.
No, I think that is totally true, but it's like, do couples who spend this kind of money actually find more success compared to those who don't necessarily have that kind of income to do these $100,000 worth of treatment?
It depends what the problems are, right? So the problem could be in a male sperm, it could be in a woman's eggs. Like you just don't know, right? And so spending the money, the odds are still low that you're going to get pregnant, but it gives you a better shot at you just naturally trying to conceive when you can't, or there's some sort of issues or whatever. So it just depends on how bad do you want it, right? Because $100,000, that's you're sacrificing lifestyle, right? You start going through this process, like you're decreasing the way that you live, like going out, traveling to Turkey, drinking or whatever. Like you can't do this kind of stuff, right? And then two, emotionally, man, it's just like a cloud over your head.
But I feel like it's emotionally a cloud over even your head, the doctor, the pharmacist, because after a while, I mean, as I was watching your film, I kept thinking like, oh, at first you would probably find joy in this job because you're helping start a family for these couples. But then there seems to be quite a dark side to it as well. I mean, do you find that balance when you work in that kind of occupation?
So that's why I make comedies, right? By night, because the job is depressing, right? And it is beautiful.
It's your outlet. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. It's my creative outlet. Whenever the couples can have a kid, that's amazing. I love seeing it. One of them moved into my neighborhood. So every time I see her with her child, I'm just like, I helped that couple have a child.
That's cool. And, you're like the Santa Claus. You're like the baby Santa Claus. I love it.
No, I think that's very cool. It's something special. And I know, Simren, going back to you, I mean, during the making a concession, did you learn anything about yourself?
Yes. So back to the fighting thing, I feel like it reignited my fight for life and fight for things that I love, because I was in a very weird place when Tarun found me to do conception. And I was actually dealing with a very unhealthy relationship. And it was my first relationship, my first love. And it was towards the end of it. So it really, I feel like in that through developing conception and Amy, I feel like I learned to fight for things again in life that I believed in and that I cared about. And I feel like I found my voice through Amy in some way. And I don't know what it is, but when you play characters that are empowered, there's a part of you that ignites and is empowered also. And it's almost like these characters that you're playing are healing you. Like there's a part of you that heals through it.
There's so much healing in acting. I always call it like my own personal therapy, right? So when I'm doing the same thing, dealing with the character, the stuff that as an actor we have to tap into to be empathetic and to be in those shoes opens up a lot of doors that most people keep closed. And we can't as actors. We have to be an open soul.
That's our job.
Very good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's our job.
Very good point. I mean, I think everything that you two are saying right now, I think is very, very true. But, as someone like you and I, Simren, been joking about how, we don't want any kids anytime soon. That's not our way of life. But, this is not necessarily something that I think about, but I think it definitely needs to be a question that needs to be asked. How do you deal with life with no family? I mean, I understand that you have cousins, you have your nieces and etc. But like, how do you move forward not knowing that that's the life that you want to live?
That's funny. I was actually thinking about this morning. I was like, wait, so does this mean my lineage is over with and now I have to depend on my brother and my sister to have kids? And how are my parents going to feel?
I think it's because you're watching too many House of Dragons. Is that what's going on?
Need to start that. But no, I think, again, never say never, but there's just something in me where I just feel like there's so much work to be done in my life. And, there's just so much love to give to the world, to people. And I feel like until I'm at a place where I feel like I've showed up as that person that I see myself being, it's going to be very hard for me to take a step back and focus on my family, because and any relationship I get into now, because of my last one, I've made it a priority to say that, that's a given. Work is always going to come first. My purpose is always going to come first, and then it'll be my family, which is it's hard for my family to hear.
Yeah. Absolutely, Simren. I think, I need you to speak for my parents moving forward. So, like, if you don't mind during the holidays when my aunts start bugging me about where's that lady in your life, can I just FaceTime you and you can speak for me, like speak to my personal attorney?
So this is how Chris asks a girl out on a date. He's like,
yeah, exactly. I got to get clearance. She's got to talk to my co-host Marissa first, and if Marissa's not jiving, then she's not the lady in my life. Well, Tarun and Simren, I can't thank you guys enough for joining Just Talking, the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. And for everybody that wants to be able to check out this film today, where can they go and see Conception?
So right now it's in its rental window. So anywhere where you rent a movie, you can get it. Apple TV, iTunes, Amazon Prime, video on demand. Like if you have Xfinity, Comcast, go rent it. Little films like this need a lot of love. We're trying to get on Netflix and Hulu. So please go rent the movie. If enough people rent this thing, they'll put it on their platforms. And that's kind of
that's what's good.
Nice. Love it.
But thank you so much for having us, guys. This was a blast.
Hey, always much love. We always love the work that you two produce and much success moving forward into the year 2023. And happy holidays to you too. And for everybody that's on right now, live on YouTube, stick around because we got more left on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. Yeah. So that's right. So we are now on into Strike A Chord, where if you physically or digitally pick up that record, you're going to know these tracks. And we got the one and only band hailing from Connecticut. They are punk rockers, American Thrills. And let's me go ahead and bring on the Motley Crue himself into the mix. But for everybody that's joining us right now, go ahead and check out our 7th installment of Off the Fret, More Music Talk, featuring LA pop rockers Poe the Passenger, out now on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And right now we have here with us Jamie. How you doing, Jamie?
Good. I thought you forgot about us or found a better band or something.
No, I got you, my man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
Everything's real good, brother. Real good. So, hey, do you know, because I have to kind of bring this up with you right at the top of the show. Do you know why America doesn't have a knock-knock joke?
No, but I want to hear why.
Because America, freedom rings, motherfucker. Freedom rings. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because
that was so
your
dumb.
band, I totally kind of butchered it, but the reason why I wanted to bring this into the mix, Jamie, is because your band name, American Thrills, sounds as patriotic as, like, I imagine an eagle pounding, a 30 rack of Budweiser. So, tell us the backstory behind the band's name.
So, I wish we had a better backstory. Realistically, Kurt, our singer, the frontman of the band, has been sitting on a list of band names for about 5 years, and he kind of turned through the pages, and we narrowed it down to 2. I think one was called Skate Party and American Thrills, and American Thrills just sounded so good we had to roll with it. But okay, nothing wrong with that. You sure you don't want to steal my philosophy?
You sound more serious than the was it skate? What did you say?
It's like
a skate party.
I forget.
Yeah, skate party. Yeah, American Thrills sounds more serious.
Sounds like you grew up in the era, basically licking your cartridge of your Nintendo 64, trying to launch Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I mean, that's kind of the vibes that you're getting me behind the backstory of American Thrills.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're old. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
You're not that old. Come on, stop playing, girl. Come on now. But I also saw online that you guys label your band as being new country, like new metal, but new country. I mean, what in the world does that even mean?
It was a genre we were trying to start, but it didn't take off. We're kind of punk rock. We have some big country vibes, a little bit of everything. We were trying to start something cool, and I guess we're not cool enough to make a new genre. So we tried it. It didn't work out. I still say we're new
just
country.
Indulge the listening audience. That is freaking hilarious. What do you mean by new country? Were you guys trying to be like Jonathan Davis or Chad Gray from Mudvayne with a little bit of country slang?
When I hear new country with punk rock, I think of Hank the Third.
There you go. Yeah, we have some we consider ourselves one of the most new metal bands to play the Fest, which is like a big punk rock festival. So we definitely take some vibes, and we like Limp Bizkit. We listen to a lot of Limp Bizkit. We don't really sound like that per se, but I get some influences of those like kind of 90s alt rock new metal bands in some weird way.
Yeah, I mean, I have fun. I've seen Limp Bizkit, a couple times before, and but when I think about, new metal, for example, especially now in the year 2022, it gets a lot of backlash. I mean, even artists that were even considered new metal are like hating that they're even labeled under that genre. So why did you guys even want to even consider even joining that subgenre?
Because first off, it's kind of funny, but besides that, we grew up, it's nostalgic. Like we grew up with bands like the Deftones, and I guess Limp Bizkit. This is part of our like upbringing in music. It was what was on MTV. It was what was all around us, and it kind of shaped music during that time, and that was a very influential time for us as like young musicians.
Does it help the creative process to kind of put your band like into a theme of a certain genre when it comes to creating music?
Yeah, it's interesting to think of it that way, but yeah, it allows us to kind of put us in a certain direction, right? When you're so like, I guess you don't want to be so specific with a genre. When you kind of pigeonhole yourself in one genre, it leads you to not kind of expand into other potential sounds.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel that the label of punk rock is being loosely tossed around with artists?
Punk rock is such like a wide spectrum. Like there are, when punk rock 20 years ago, you think of like the Descendants and like these, like when I thought of punk rock, it was a very different grouping of bands than it is today. I mean, punk rock, there are so many like subgenres within it that, I mean, just about every band today has some sort of punk rock influence to some extent.
No, yeah, no, it's so true. I was just curious whether you had a thought on that. I mean, I'm totally okay with it. I mean, I listen to hard rock and heavy metal, and there's always like numerous subgenres that I could care less. I think it's actually very fun, and it kind of leads you down the kind of this rabbit hole where you're kind of playing detective to try to discover and find out your favorite artist and find a new genre that you might have never heard of. But, all I know is American Thrills has a badass record titled Parted Ways, which turns out to be the band's debut LP. So did you approach this record differently compared to your EP, Old Things?
Yeah, an EP is great, and it gives you like a little sampling of a band, right? You're doing 4 songs. A lot of times you could bang that out in like a weekend in the studio with the right producer, and you got the right people working with you. When you're doing an LP, it's just so much more. It has to be like more cohesive. It's a lot more music. We kind of like, we trashed some songs that didn't make the record. We put a lot more effort and time and kind of thought into doing a full-length record, especially with it being our first full-length record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you guys are working on new material, what comes first? I mean, are you thinking about the lyrics, or does it start off with you creating a melody?
It kind of varies song to song. Our 2 guitarists usually will come up with like a cool idea, whether it be a riff, like a hook, a chorus, something. And we have a group text going at all times where we're constantly sending each other kind of ideas and little bits and pieces. And then when we get together and we have a practice space, we kind of just kind of get together, start playing it, and see where it goes organically.
Oh, I think that's pretty cool, man. And are you guys like recording yourselves through like sound bites, or are you guys just doing like raw vocal takes and it's like, hey, work around this?
We're actually all have like pretty somewhat legitimate like studio type setups. So we're actually able to do a lot of demoing and kind of get a pretty quality sounding product.
That is actually really cool, because usually you only have that one person in the band that has access to it, if that, right? So, how cool.
Yeah.
How much of a factor does that play in a band where you guys actually know the production side of things when it comes to mixing and mastering?
So we have others who mix and master. Kurt, that the vocalist in our band, he had a studio about 20 years ago that he's been working with. So he is really, really influential with all those things. But us all having a little bit of knowledge, it definitely makes it easier and allows us to be a little more involved with the process and be more hands-on with the record.
Nice. I like that. And I know the music video that we're about to play on Strike A Chord is American Thrills music video, Misfires. And what can you share about this track?
So Misfires, it was one of the first singles we dropped like way back when we announced the record. I think this video was just kind of like some footage we had from being on the road, playing some shows, combined with some live footage we had. But this is kind of like an upbeat, kind of a anthemic type song, kind of has like hot water music type vibes to it. It's one of my favorites on the record, actually.
No, it is such a freaking jammer, Jamie. And I think you guys should be thrilled with your guys' brand new record, Parted Ways. And I want you, the CCS family, if you haven't heard of them yet, you're going to hear them right now. It's such an amazing group. And I love this track a lot. And just like how Jamie said, this song is called Misfires, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.
I sit in pace around this place. I built this life without your grace. You walk around this room, yeah, like you're just some kind of ghost. And it's been so long, I only waited for you all night long. And I should have been so sure of this, but it's been like 100 years. Yeah, we met like strangers often too. At first a spark, then an ashen room. You burnt out like a martyr, but you nobody's saint. Yeah, you burnt out like a martyr. You were nobody's saint. It's been so long, I only waited for you all night long. And I should have been so sure of this, but it's been like 100 years. You gave me a salvation when I needed it the most, but you poisoned yourself. A series of misfires diagnosed when you were young. You gave me salvation when I needed it the most, but you poisoned yourself. A series of misfires diagnosed when you were young. I only waited for you all night long, and I should have been so sure of this. A series of misfires diagnosed when you were young. It's been so long, I only waited for you all night long, and I should have been so sure of this. A series of misfires diagnosed when you were young.
Yeah, that's what's good. That is the American Thrills, and that is their music video, Misfires. And this is Strike A Chord, where we interview artists all around the globe, and we are very excited and stoked to have Jamie here with us right now on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. And I'm sure that you have seen this, Jamie, but all this week, Apple and Spotify rap montages have been shared on social media, highlighting users' top artists. And how do you feel the internet has impacted the music business?
It's huge. I mean, when we first started playing in these bands in like the early 2000s, this stuff didn't exist. You know, it was, you put out CDs and you brought CDs to shows and you sold them. Now the streaming media is huge. You know, I know bands that are blowing up through like TikTok and through these social media channels, which is great. But it's kind of hard almost to sift through it because there's so much out there. And, you know, the biggest problem we have is, you know, Spotify kind of sucks. It doesn't pay the artists anything for the plays.
Yeah. We talk about it numerous times here on the Chris Collins Show that, you know, an artist gets paid a third to a fifth of a penny per stream. And if you don't mind me asking, what is like the number one source of revenue when it comes towards your band? Because I know the biggest conversation with a lot of artists right now going into the new year is merchandise cuts that venues are bringing towards artists. And I know that there's a huge movement happening in the United Kingdom where venues are actually signing the petition to actually remove that. Where here in America, artists like yourself have to pay the venue 15 to 35% of the merchandise cut to the venue. Are you okay with that? Because the last I recall, merchandise is the only source of revenue as of this time, because CD sales, who the hell's buying a CD nowadays?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the money we make as a band, which isn't a ton, but we sell a lot of vinyl. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing now. Vinyl records, we do like exclusive presses with certain labels. You do cool colors, variants. We had like a really cool picture disc, and those move, right? Which is cool. Some t-shirts, things like that. But yeah, it shows. Once again, we're not selling nearly the volume of merch that bands did 20 years ago because of this lack of CDs and those, in-person sales. So to have a venue kind of take a cut is outrageous. These
right.
Bands, yeah, it's right now too. The price of gas, fuel. Everything is up, and a lot of bands, these smaller to mid-sized bands aren't actively touring right now because it's not affordable. They can't get out there and do it.
Absolutely. I think you're really kind of spelling out what's going on, behind the scenes, especially, across town, across the globe. And I know some of the biggest conversation that's been going around this week that's kind of been sparked by 21 Savage. I don't know if you heard about this, but he was calling Nas irrelevant. And I think, he was basically saying that because the youth don't necessarily listen to him anymore. I know even Boozy even came out and kind of said something very similar this week about how Jay-Z and about how he goes to all the Atlantic clubs in LA and New York, and they're not playing Jay-Z's music in the club. I kind of feel like he has a point. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like the music industry and social media plays so much of a factor into this because no one's buying albums anymore. Everybody's buying singles. And it seems like that's the only kind of thing that's a high stature right now with music lovers.
Yeah, no, I agree. In the punk rock scene, I think a lot more people pay respect to the roots. A lot of these bands paved the way for bands that are out there today. And I'd like to think, at least in like the fest and the punk rock scene, people at least respect and pay homage to these beginning artists that kind of started the genre. The rap game might be different. I'm not too into that, let's say. But, I do see in the punk rock scene, there's a lot of like tribute records. They put out vinyl and we're covering, like the Descendants just had a tribute record done. There was a Hot Water Music one. It's our genre. I think it's a little more respect toward the older bands that paved the way.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very fair point. I mean, that's true. Punk rock industry is quite a tight niche. I think that's why they just kind of embrace everybody owning the label of being punk rock. But are you familiar with what's going on with the whole Ticketmaster and Live Nation debacle when it comes to dynamic pricing? Because I know that's going to be the new spark of conversation again, because I know the 2-day tickets for Metallica and Pantera are going on sale today. And with dynamic pricing in effect, it's going to be mental. It's going to be insane to even try to buy a ticket. So does any of this kind of speak any truth, or is this foreign cars? You have no idea what's going on with dynamic pricing?
No, I'm pretty familiar. Back in the day when I used to go want to see a band, I'd go to Strawberries or to like a Ticketmaster store and I'd buy the tickets. You'd be able to buy it like, in person. The problem is that I understand what they're doing, right, to combat the bots and people just like mass buying and then reselling. But this obviously isn't working. The prices that people are getting, it's outrageous that someone would have to pay that kind of money to see an artist they just want to support. So I think they just have to find a better model. There has to be some sort of like in between where they could keep out the bots.
But don't you think the better model is just like once you place it at face value, it should be what it is, not continue to surge?
Yeah, I agree with that. But I think the problem is that, when it is face value, they have these like bots and these things that can get in and just mass buy these.
And then they make those tickets higher.
Yeah, and then they resell on StubHub and third parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that's been kind of the center of the controversy.
The only way to kind of stop it is, and I know it's bots, so it might be impossible, I don't know it, but is to limit how many tickets you can buy at a time.
Yeah,
so
it's very difficult though,
because
like a lot of these third-party brokers who can bypass these robots and form themselves as bots are, unfortunately getting in where, if you wanted to go see Blink-182, or if you're a Swiftie fan, or even a Metallica fan who wants to go and see Pantera reunite, good luck, CCS family, good luck. But Jamie, I know the music video that we're about to play, I wanted to kind of throw it back to your EP because I think it really kind of stands true to what eventually evolved into your guys' amazing debut LP. But I really like this single. It's called Old Things. And you boys sing in the following: "You're the reason why I like old things, because nothing's really broken anyway. You're the reason why I am this way. I can't let go of much of anything." So when you say these kind of things, what do you want the listening music lover to take away from this track?
So these are Kurt's lyrics, so I'll kind of, paraphrase the best I can.
But I'm sure, okay, I love when an artist says that, because you don't have any kind of say, or I mean, I know when I was in a punk rock band, if an artist was saying something, I'm like, I want to know what the hell you're saying, so that when I get asked, what the hell does this even mean?
Yeah, old things is, a lot of us, we're getting older, we're losing friends, we're losing family members. And this song is kind of just about, nostalgia and the kind of impacts these people still have on us, even once they're gone.
Okay, fair enough. You see, it wasn't too bad. But you know what? I love this track. I think you guys got something very special, and definitely go ahead and see these guys in the new year, because I definitely know they're going to be playing some live gigs. And let's go ahead and play American Thrills music video, Old Things, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show.
This pain's a hard one to go through. The way it twists and surrounds you, it always comes back to haunt you. Oh, it's a hard truth to swallow. I can't remember how your voice sounds. I'm searching for the words, but they don't come out. You don't haunt my dreams anymore. Won't you come back down? Now I pace the steps that we used to take. Like it's gonna bring anything back to me. And it felt like all my sins were born in the back of your car. I was just a refugee in this house, but I was one of yours. You were far from perfect, and so was I. It came to a head from time to time. It was always us against us. It was always us against the world. And you're the reason why I like old things, 'cause nothing's really ever broken anyway. You're the reason why I'm this way. I can't let go of it. Felt like all my sins were born in the back of your car. I was just a refugee in this house, but I was one of yours. You were far from perfect, and so was I. It came to a head from time to time. It was always us against us. It was always us against the world. And I'm faithless in the fate of your soul, it haunts me. I'm faithless. This pain, oh my God, it's relentless. They want you down on your knees. They want you to beg and pray and plead. They want you down on your knees, but it ain't gonna sell. Like all my sins were born in the back of your car. I was just a refugee in this house, but I was one of yours. You were far from perfect, and so was I. It was us against us.
Oh man, you gotta love it. That is American Thrills, and that is their music video, Old Things, and you can find it on their EP titled Old Things. And Jamie, we can't thank you enough for joining the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. You have been so freaking amazing. And do you have any big plans or ambitions that you guys are looking forward to setting put in the year 2023?
So we just dropped the
2023.
record.
I just realized how I said it.
We just dropped the record. We have a little bit of the first pressing of the vinyl left. It's like a cool smoky gray, and they're just about gone. We have a music video coming in the next few weeks.
Let's go.
Yeah, and then we start playing some shows in January. We have a big local show in the spring. We're going to get out with some buddies and hit the road and play some shows. But
nice.
We'll announce those for another few weeks or so. We're kind of finishing up with.
Hey, that's so freaking badass. I mean, people have stuck around this long on YouTube Live. I mean, can you let the people know what's good? What's the music video? What song off the track of the LP that you guys are going to be promoting?
So we did we had a live show, our album release last week, and it was awesome. We actually completely sold the show out. It was incredible to see all our friends, our local, crowd come out. And we shot a video for Sinking with a lot of live footage and a lot of like our friends and family just getting drunk. And it's a blast, and we're excited to share it.
Best type of video.
Dude, hell yeah. Right, Marissa? I don't know about you, but I love going on YouTube and watching live music videos, especially when we were in the middle of the pandemic. Oh my gosh. But now that I'm able to get back into that live atmosphere, I can tell just from talking with Jamie here today, you're going to want to go and see American Thrills live in person. And much success for you in the future, Jamie. You've been so freaking awesome. So thank you again for joining the Chris College Show, Millennial Talk Show.
Yes, thank you so much.
And for everybody that's on with us right now, stick around because we got so much more left on the Chris College Show. So let's cue the transition. This is what's good because there's so much negativities on channels 2 through 11. So Marissa and I, we want to break the mold and let you, the CCS family, know what's good. And I like this story. I love the power of social media as much as we were kind of joking about it, in Strike A Chord. Sometimes, Spotify and Apple, there are some pros and then there's some cons. But I can tell you right now, this TikToker, he's so freaking badass. We got to love him. His name is Devin. If you want to go ahead and follow him on social media. But in America, many people have to work well past the age of retirement to make ends meet. And while some of these people choose to work past retirement age because it keeps them active, some older people, believe it or not, millennials, they don't want to work anymore. They don't want to work. I don't know about you. I don't want to work forever.
I don't want to work now. Let alone when I'm 80.
Well, I don't mind work. I love this gig. This gig is so
No, this isn't working. This isn't working. Okay. This isn't working. This is fun. This is a career.
There's a little bit of work, there's preparation.
There's work in it, but it's not working.
That's true.
Working is when I'm waitressing and I have to put a smile on so you'll tip me, even though I hate
true.
you.
Or
you're
getting out of the house, doing physical labor, standing in.
Yes, making somebody else money. That's called working.
Else. Yes. I like that philosophy. If you can fall asleep and still make money, that's the way.
Your own boss. You're your own boss.
You're your own boss, baby. But let's get back to this story because it really is something really special because, while some people, again, choose to work past the, into the retirement age, there is a wonderful individual. Her name is Nola Carpenter. She's 81 years old and she works out of necessity. She works at a Walmart. And with the power of social media, 19-year-old TikToker Devin posted a caption with a video that reads, "Life shouldn't be this hard," with the sad emoji for this elderly Walmart worker, which then the GoFundMe quickly exploded and raised over $110,000 in just 24 hours.
My name is Devin Bonagora. We met briefly in the break room yesterday, and I took a short video of you in the break room and posted it on social media. And a lot of people saw the video and wanted to help you out. So I started a GoFundMe page. A lot of supporters that started following me wanted to try and help you retire. They saw that you're a very hard worker, obviously, and we are all super proud of you, and we wanted to offer you $110,000 that has been raised for you, if you're willing to accept.
And, we had to cut the video short, Marissa, because obviously we wanted to talk over it, but it was really kind of funny towards like the second half of the video because Nola's like, I don't necessarily is processing how GoFundMe and social media works because again, this is not her generation. So she was very kind of funny and she goes, well, I still need like $60,000 because then I could completely pay off the house. And because of that video with, the response of handing over the money to her and setting up the account where they could transfer the funds to her, what did the good people at GoFundMe do? They raised another $60,000. So her home is completely paid off. So, I mean, what kind of better feel-good story is that? Devin, you are such a freaking rock star. And again, you know, there is power to social media if you use it the right way. And I think just to end what's good, I think we should just say, don't be Kanye West. Just don't be that guy. But we want to thank our amazing guests that joined us. It was such a jam-packed show. We had such a blast, right, Marissa? It was so much fun. And we had director and writer Tarun Verma with us, as well as actress Simren, they got an amazing feature film. Again, it's called Conception. It's out now online to rent. And the more you rent it, the more it gets placed on Netflix. So let's make that happen for them, fam. And also our Strike A Chord artist hailing from Connecticut is punk rocker Jamie from American Thrills. Go ahead and check out their brand new LP, Parted Ways. It is a banger. And for anybody who hasn't checked out my brand new Off the Fret podcast featuring LA pop rockers, and I was about to say Animal Sun. They are there too. But Poe the Passenger, they're up right now. It's a blast. I mean, guys, let me know what's good. It's on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And I think we got to let the people know what's good, Marissa. I mean, who's our guest for next week?
Yo, you don't have the guess? Oh my God, it is.
Oh, we definitely know what's good.
No, I have it. Did you know it?
I definitely know what's good. I got it. I got you. What's good. I know I'm starting to run out of time. No, you're way good. You're way good.
Like, we have a list of guests. I'm like,
no, it's gonna be awesome. Week? We got Nero Knox. He's gonna be joining us. He's a guitar player. He's actually gonna start singing vocals now. He's actually been professionally trained by the singer of Diamond Head. That's pretty freaking awesome. He's in the demo process. He's gonna be sharing it with us. He's got over $100,000 worth of funding for this brand new record. So we're actually going to be doing something different. We're actually going to be listening to demos in real time and actually talking about that entire process to what it takes to develop a full-time record. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are enjoying the first week of your month of December. And I will see you next Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. For now, enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you later, fam. Peace. What's good, party people? Chris Collins Show presents Music Storm 2022, hosted by Chris Collins and Marissa Pitts, featuring Royals, Hurricane Highway, Cannibal Kids, Amanda Cooksey, Astoria State, Kid Dad, Resounding, Sleep Cycles, Avenues, Freckles, Weather Worn, Just True, Sophia Marie, Music Storm 2022, available wherever you listen to podcasts. Our brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
I love it. It's more time to chat. Hello.
You would look so jazzy. I love your outfit. How far would you go to start playing live music again? This slaps harder than my ex when she got her stimulus check. So, are you here to bring the sexual healing with your music? It's called Everything is Everything, and I guarantee you're going to hear this song in the future. I love the flow, man. Politically charged album. So if you get easily offended, this might not be the album for you. Brand new podcast, Off the Fret.
So excited.
Has Kim Kardashian accidentally sent you a coochie shot?
Do you want to stay there? It's completely your choice. Or you want to...
I feel you. And you know what? I love it. Off the Fret. More music talk. Peace. What's good? It's Chris from the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show, featuring alternative pop rock band Poe the Passenger, amassing over 1 million streams with their debut LP, Alinea, joins Off the Fret. More music talk.